Euromaxx highlights. And here's your host, Karin Helmstedt.
Greetings from Berlin and a warm welcome to our highlights of the week, which this time around included the following topics. Statement bags, why women's purses are much more than a fashion accessory. Celestial event, a French designer lights up the stars over London. The ratings game, the editor of a food guide who can make or break a culinary career. Well, studies have shown that the average woman's purse and its contents are worth anywhere between 400 and 600 euros. And by the time you count together the smartphone, the makeup, the sunglasses, and the purse itself, that actually does sound pretty realistic. Well, those are the high-priced items, but it's what else is in that handbag of treasures that interested French sociologist Jean-Claude Kaufmann. So he set out to reveal the many secrets that lie within.
Handbags come in all shapes, sizes, and price ranges. Most women wouldn't dream of leaving the house without one. Female Europeans own an average of 7 bags. The Italians are the most avid handbag owners, with an average of 60 each. The fashionistas of Milan are experts when it comes to what constitutes the perfect bag.
Mine are all big.
Stylish.
It has to be practical. Not too big, but not too small.
A bag is like a woman's mobile home.
I have a Gucci, Dior, I got it in Canada, Chanel, and a Prada.
We carry them around everywhere, so I think that's why it's important to have a really good quality bag.
I think I have 100.
French sociologist Jean-Claude Kaufmann has peeked into the bags of 75 women. He concluded that bags are about more than pure function.
There's always talk of love when it comes to bags. The inner love for your bag as an everyday partner. And then there's the passionate love of the bag enthusiast who falls head over heels.
Show me your bag and I'll show you mine. Kaufmann is familiar with every type of bag owner.
Behind the bags is a certain philosophy of life. Some women are obsessed with the idea of traveling light. Others want to be prepared for every eventuality, with an umbrella in case it rains, and something for every scenario, clothes or underwear to change into.
What about carrying one trusty bag versus a different one for each day of the week?
The one-bag woman is most concerned with comfort, so she has her constant companion. The multi-bag woman cares about appearances, about making an impression. She likes to redefine her image every morning.
Back in Milan, there's no getting away from the fact that handbags are a huge status symbol. But the bag itself can only tell us so much about its owner. The contents are the real giveaway.
My purse, my pencil case, tissues.
A little makeup bag?
Cell phone, bottle of water.
Deodorant. You never know.
Oh, it's such a mess in there. I'm not trying that.
Many women wouldn't let a stranger anywhere near their handbag, but Kaufmann was granted a privileged peek for his book, Le Sac.
There are lots of small, private things that are very personal. Handwritten notes, for example. Not just shopping lists, but lists of things to do, or traits people want to change. And photos, and lucky charms, or stuffed animals.
Mess makes stress. A woman spends an average of 76 days of her life rummaging through her handbag. But despite this, the bond between a woman and her bag is unbreakable.
A woman once said to me, loving a bag is much better than loving a man. Life with men can be stressful, but bags are different. A new love is exciting, but your old love doesn't die either.
Agree or disagree, Jean-Claude Kaufmann has succeeded in at least uncovering a few handbag secrets.
Well, I, for one, would argue that Italian is one of the most beautiful languages to listen to, but put it to music and it can become the kind of stuff that's enough to make your knees go weak. Well, that's the formula that Italian pop star Eros Ramazzotti has been using successfully for years. And now, after a 3-year breather, he's back with a brand new album. So we had a bit of a chat and a listen before its release.
Bella.
Even as he gets older, Eros Ramazzotti has lost none of his boyish ways. And he's still a romantic, as his latest video goes to show.
Non chiedi libertà. Lo sai, non sono io a incatenarti qua. Il sentimento va già libero da sé.
An Angel Lying in the Sun is the first single from his new album, Noi, which means us.
Noi è un momento particolare per la...
The title refers to those special moments in life, to the things that happen to us. It's a positive message. We need to spend more time together and to stick together. That's what this album is all about.
Eros Ramazzotti recorded the album in his Milan studio. It's his signature blend of heartfelt ballads and catchy pop. He says being a musician is more of a calling for him than a job. His brother Marco takes care of business matters.
Hard work is when you get up at 5 in the morning and go to work on a construction site. Making music is something else.
His first single, released in 1982, adorns the walls of his studio. Ramazzotti signed a recording contract after winning a talent contest. He has twice won Germany's most important music award, the Echo. He even has some famous fans.
I love your voice, man. You have such a beautiful voice, man.
He's sold over 50 million records in the course of a career that has spanned 30 years.
I want to keep experimenting, writing and singing great songs. For me, it's a passion that gets stronger every day.
His other passion is soccer. He plays for the Italian all-star team, which raises money for charity. He's even played with Diego Maradona and Michael Schumacher. He's also very much a family man and became a father for the second time in the summer of 2011.
Family is very important. Anyone who says it isn't is heartless. Even rock stars who like to party hard are lost without family. Family is what keeps us grounded.
And that's why when he embarks on his upcoming world tour in spring 2013, he's going to make sure he sees his partner and baby daughter regularly. Once a ladies' man, his priorities have since changed.
Well, our next protagonist is what you call a multidisciplinary designer. And when it came time to do his graduating project at the Royal College of Art in London, Oscar L'Ermite didn't want to dream up yet another funky electric appliance or a piece of furniture. Instead, the French-born designer looked up at the rather muddy night sky over London and he decided that it definitely needed a bit of help. Urban stargazing was the result.
park in London's East End. Even here, far from the brightly lit centre of the city, you can't pick out a single star in the sky. But suddenly, a constellation appears before you, thanks to French designer Oscar Lermite. He wants the stars to shine here again.
It's about raising awareness on the city light pollution, which is a very big problem, but that very few people are aware of. For instance, it's not just about the stargazing thing. The light pollution is a big problem for the environment, and it's a big problem for the ecosystem in the city. Like, a lot of birds are getting completely disturbed because there is no proper nights anymore, proper dark nights.
A few hours earlier at Lermite's studio in London. He's putting the finishing touches on his work, fitting it into a wooden frame. The artwork itself is mostly composed of nylon strings and micro-thin fibre optic cables. This black box is essential. Solar cells charge a battery during the day. When darkness falls, the LED inside lights up.
The light is actually shining through the fibre optic, and each fibre optic is going to make one star, and it's going to go all the way along until the end, where I want to have a star. So this is one star.
This work is made up of 7 stars, which are attached around a net made of nylon.
Well, the nice thing about it is that it's very, very simple. It's essentially just some nylon lines and fibre optics and just a triangle, and it actually works really well. It's very efficient, and it's very easy to install, and it's completely lightweight and invisible during the day.
Lermite gets his project ready for transport. Since last year, Lermite has put up about a dozen of these artificial constellations around the English capital. Most of them have since been destroyed by high winds and bad weather. This item belongs to one of his other projects. A series of objects that, at first glance, don't make any sense or have any meaning. The observer is supposed to draw their own conclusions. A bookmark he made has been one of his most successful products. It's one that always moves from page to page and stays there each time you open and close the book.
And now else go on your left, slowly. Yeah.
Hours later, in a park in East London, crunch time for Lermite's constellation art. Using a catapult he built himself, Lermite shoots nylon strings attached to tennis balls over the trees.
Let's check.
The ropes are then tied to the ends of the triangular tapestry of stars.
So this you pull, this you stop, this you let down. Pull, stop, let down. Pull!
The construction is then hoisted to about 20 meters above the ground and tied down securely.
By the look of it, the structure is completely in tension, so it's not going to move, and the constellation shape is in place as well. And we did it in 23 minutes, which is a really good time.
And once it turns dark, the stars do their magic.
It's 6 stars around one bigger star, and it's the network which is referencing the web and the internet, and it's like a network of things interconnecting with each other.
The first visitors to the park take in the artwork.
It's the cube constellation. It's very thoughtful. It's made by someone who likes nature but lives in the city, so I think a lot of people can relate to that.
I don't really know what it is, but it makes me feel like I want to keep looking at it and staring at it.
And they're not the only ones taking in a small constellation in the middle of the vast urban sky.
Very poetic idea. Well, there are two main foodie Bibles here in Europe. The Michelin Guide, which rates top chefs with stars, and the Gault Millau, which rates on a scale of up to 20 points. Now, both come out every year in November, within days of one another. And it just so happens that this year marks the 30th anniversary of the German edition of the Gault Millau. Well, the critics who make those ratings always show up unannounced. And we met up with one of the key reviewers to see how she tucks into her job.
The Gault Millau publishing house in Munich can make or break a culinary career. Patricia Brumm is editor-in-chief and a noted restaurant critic. She has two main jobs, writing and dining.
Good food fascinates me. There's always more to learn and to discover. Like an entire world of spices from Africa and Asia, which we haven't tapped into yet here.
Over the years, Patricia Brumm has dined at and written about the most exclusive restaurants in the world. In April, she took over the helm of the German edition of Gault Millau. Since then, she's been hard at work on the 2013 guide. Among the most coveted honors in the world of haute cuisine are the toques. 4 hats is the absolute crème de la crème. The hats are based on the number of points awarded on a scale of 1 to 20. The German edition never awards 20 points, saying that such perfection can't be achieved. In 1983, only 2 restaurants won 18 points or more. 20 years later, it was 29. Last year, there were 42.
The most important factor in our rating is the quality of food, of course. We look for chefs who have developed their own signature style, instead of just chasing after the latest trends. Chefs who have their own personal style, a cuisine d'auteur, as they say in French.
The Gourmet Guide also issues other awards, such as Chef of the Year. It's an honor that can propel a chef into the gastronomic stratosphere. 2 years ago, the German title went to Wahabi Nouri at Hamburg's Piment restaurant.
Getting that recognition and all that media attention really gave us a boost. Gault Millau has accompanied us over the years, awarding 1 point more every year. That was a sign we were on the right track.
Nouri, known for classic French dishes with a North African twist, has 18 points and 3 toques in the 2012 edition. The guide adheres to a precise set of criteria for its ratings. Apart from the hats, the Gault Millau is known for its extensive descriptions and for its often incisive criticism.
It's always a question of how you formulate things. You can be quite hard-hitting in your criticism, but it makes quite a difference if you say it straight out or whether you express it in a more nuanced way. There's quite a bit of leeway.
The original guide was launched in 1969 by 2 French journalists, Henri Gault and Christian Millot. They promoted the term nouvelle cuisine to describe the modern style of French cooking, which emphasized lighter dishes and less complex preparations. Soon, other European countries had their own Gault Millau. The head of the German edition often goes to a Chinese restaurant around the corner for lunch. She's a well-known guest there. But her reviewers are always anonymous. There are 25 of them, and the guide always foots the bill. This year, the tab will come to about 300,000 euros.
We try to be as discreet as possible. If they recognize our food critic and the chef lets on that they've noticed us, then we send someone else to go back.
During the ratings season, Brumm dines at several restaurants a week. But even with all that haute cuisine, she still finds plenty to savor in less fancy fare.
It's the flavor that matters in the end, and that's something you can find even in very simple dishes.
Today, Patricia Brumm pays the tab herself. She's here as a food lover, not a critic.
Well, finally, they were actually invented to be a functional garment for pilots and motorcycle drivers, but black leather biker jackets have long since morphed into a classic fashion statement. Helped along by the spirit of 1950s teen rebellion a la James Dean, stars like Marlon Brando and Dennis Hopper donned them as well, and soon they were part of the kit for rock stars and revolutionaries. Well, nowadays, they express a certain kind of cool, and that inspired German photographer Horst Friedrichs to capture the biker jacket in all its many variations in a very large, as you can see, brand new book.
Once again, it's a season must-have. Diesel, Versace, Saint Laurent, and Alexander McQueen. No fall-winter runway show was complete without its own version of the black biker jacket. East London. Even with the weather turning colder, these young fashionistas won't be trading their leather jackets for woolly coats. German photographer Horst Friedrichs spent 15 years in London looking into the enduring appeal of the biker jacket. His new book, Pride and Glory, features jackets with stories to tell.
There's no other item of clothing subject to more customization than the biker jacket. Some people line theirs with studs. People who can't afford studs will dye their jackets or decorate them with chains or patches. Anything goes, really.
Today, Friedrichs is on a shoot with motoring journalist Sarah Bradley. She's got black leather jackets from many different eras, but her favorite decade is the 1950s. The dawn of the customization craze. Studs, badges, and patches were added to the jackets, reflecting the life and soul of their owners. Sarah Bradley has been tinkering with her own jacket for 20 years, and she's not finished yet.
It's classic. It's as pure as it gets. Classic cut, classic design. Leather never goes out of style. Leather looks better the older it is. So time works with it rather than against it. A lot of clothes look shabby over time, but leather looks better.
Authentic biker jackets and accompanying paraphernalia can be found here at Lewis Leathers. The basement harbors some real rarities. Hundreds of leather jackets from bygone decades. They're collector's items now, worth €1,000 and more. Friedrichs secured permission to photograph them for his book. Lewis leather jackets have attracted some noteworthy celebrity fans too, including Ron Wood of the Rolling Stones, John Lennon, and actor Steve McQueen. One of the most popular designs ever is the Bronx jacket, which dates from 1956.
The more the jacket has been customized, the more interesting it is to me as a photographer. My book, Pride and Glory, features a huge variety of jackets. Some are so full of studs there's no place left on them. But you do also have an odd, pristine garment without any customization. They have their charm too.
Back in London's East End, where many a fashion trend has been born, the rock star style is widespread here. Lots of people combine their leather jackets with other rock chic accessories. Fashion blogger Nicola Robinson likes to wear hers over a dress.
Lately in London, that rocker theme has become very big. Not just the jackets, but the shoes, the accessories, and this kind of very big trend for the rocking kind of biker leather studs and badges on everything that you can possibly adorn. I think if you go into any high street shop now, you've got like leather stud biker boots, and before you weren't seeing that very often.
Real rock stars are bemused by these trends. They inevitably remain loyal to their style stable, no matter what designers turn out on the runways. And they think it's important to retain the jacket's rebellious image.
The black leather jacket is seeing a revival. These trends are cyclical. I wouldn't be surprised if your daughter pulls her old jacket out of the closet in a few years and wears it with pride.
Fängt das wieder von vorne an.
The leather jacket. For some, it's a way of life. For others, just the latest fad. It's certainly a design classic that's taken the fashion world by storm. But one thing is for sure, it's got to be the only item of clothing that looks better the older it gets.
Cool. Well, that's all for this edition of our highlights. So until next time, alles Gute aus Berlin. Tschüss und auf Wiedersehen.